Sidestepping one, sidestepping two. That is
Hello guys and welcome to Pure Football Talk video. Today I'm just going to be talking about last night's match against Grimsby Town versus Manchester United. First of all, I'd like to say a big congratulations to Grimsby Town. I used to live in Grimsby Town for a short period of about 8 to 12 months before I moved out of Grimsby Town. It's a really small town. For that town, the local team to go ahead and beat Manchester United or to knock Manchester United out of the Carabao Cup is a great feat for them, and you can tell how happy the fans were and how happy the players were, including the coaching staff. So big congratulations to them. On the flip side, Manchester United were really embarrassing, to say the least. For them to actually go 2 goals down to Grimsby Town is not good enough. And I've got a few talking points to go through in this short video. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm really happy to see Manchester United crumble because they are actually a very big rival. But from a pure footballing standpoint, it's really bad to see United in this way or on this trajectory. They're going downhill. It's not even a trajectory now. What am I saying? They're going downhill. They played well against Arsenal, but a football manager is not judged by how well you can prepare your team for a big game. Players are naturally pumped up when they want to play against a big rival, like for example Arsenal. Or if you want to play a derby game, you don't really need to talk much. Players are pumped up and they want to do really well in that game because it's a derby. So it's easy for you to prepare your players for a big game. When you need to show your true talent as a manager is when you're actually preparing for games like the Grimsby Town, because you don't want, for example, you don't want your players to get complacent. You don't want your players to look down on the opponent because it's a small team. You know what I mean? So that's when a true manager shows his authority, shows his talent, shows his preparation, and how to like get the message across to his players. So see United yesterday were really flat in the first half. They were really flat. I think the team that was put out in the first half are good enough to actually absolutely destroy Grimsby Town, but the players were just completely flat, which is really bad to see. When they brought in some other firepower in the second half, Grimsby Town could have grabbed a couple of goals as well. I think a goal was also cancelled, or a goal was actually ruled out as well in the second half for Grimsby Town. So as well as they came back to draw 2-2 and went on to penalties, which I'll eventually come to in terms of the striker taking the 10th penalty. But that was really poor from Manchester United. There was a time, I think it was Delete and Sheshko had an open goal and still blazed the ball over the bar. It's just, it's really worrying. Like I said, from a pure footballing standpoint, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm happy. It's all banter, isn't it? We're happy to banter United. But this is good for the Arsenal fans, for the rival fans. We're enjoying this. But from a footballing standpoint, it's really poor. But how long can United stick with Amorim? Yeah? I think at this point, he's a very good manager, but not all good managers are able to manage top clubs. For example, you see the likes of David Moyes. He struggled when he went to United as well. Someone like someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. At some point, even though he was way better than what we're seeing currently, he still got sacked. Even Ten Hag, who was woeful at United, managed to win a couple of trophies. He was sacked, but he wasn't even this bad. You know what I mean, guys? So how long can the United board and the United fans stay patient with Amorim? I think it's just a matter of time. He's a good manager, but I don't think he's a manager who can cope with the pressure of managing Manchester United. There's a different kettle of fish for you managing a team like Everton, no matter how good you are, respect to Everton, teams like Newcastle, teams like, for example, Sporting. You can't compare that to Manchester United. That's a massive club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's a lot of pressure that comes to, even though the board might be patient, the fans might be patient, the manager himself might not be able to cope with the pressure, especially from the media and the pressure outside from other rival fans. Everyone's willing to judge you. How can you cope with the pressure? And I don't think Amorim can cope with the pressure. You could see it in his post-match interview. It looks as if it was crumbling. I don't want to be too critical, but everyone could see it. It felt like the pressures finally got to him. And that interview, post-match interview, is a proof of that. But anyways, the United players as well need to be ashamed of themselves. They need to be held accountable. It's not just the manager, the players themselves. You can't be a player of Manchester United and you go to Grimsby Town and you lose in the manner that you have. You didn't play them off the park. Grimsby Town played you off the park. You were lucky to come back 2-2 and still lost on penalties. The character of the players need to be called into question. is really, really poor from the players. The manager also has his faults. Like I said, the job might be too big for him. The weight of Manchester United Football Club might be too much for him to carry. And come after the international break, there has to be a change in form, or else they're going to face the sack. So the United players as well need to be criticized. So much. I was disappointed. Let's talk about the penalties. Šeško took the 10th penalty. Almost all the defenders on the pitch had taken a penalty before Šeško stepped up to take a penalty. That's just poor. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear it that maybe that was the tactic from the whoever organized or picked the players. You, as a 75 million or 80 million pound player, a striker, not just any player, a striker, should step up and say, no, I'm taking the first one, I'm taking the fourth one, I'm taking the fifth penalty. But to come up and take the 10th penalty is alarming. That's really bad. There was talk about, I didn't pay too much attention to it at the time when there was the transfer saga going on between Gyökeres and Šeško. There was talk about the fact that Šeško was a bit skeptical of coming to Arsenal because he did not want to compete with Havertz. Havertz is a good player, but is not someone who should scare you of the potential that you have in Šeško to be worried about playing against, coming into competition or going head-to-head with Havertz for the position of a striker. That shows the mentality that he has, which is really, really poor. His mentality, I don't think, he's a good player, but I don't think he's got that mentality to go out and become the Zlatan Ibrahimovic that he said he loves to watch. He said he loves Zlatan, right? He based his game off Zlatan. Zlatan is a mentality monster. He is a monster when it comes to that, but I don't think Šeško is good. He doesn't even have half of that. For you to come up and take the 10th penalty is alarming. That's just horrible. For a striker, for an 80 million pound striker as well, it's just terrible. But we the other rival fans are happy. It's banter. We love it. We can make fun of United fans, rival fans as well. We enjoy it. But from a footballing standpoint, from Arsenal fans are going to be happy that they dodged that. Gyökeres on the flip side was desperate to take that penalty, even though some sentimental fans wanted Dorman to take the penalty. I wouldn't have let him take the penalty, to be honest. What if the youngster who's just coming through goes ahead to miss that penalty? That's why I felt Gyökeres was the right person to take it, irrespective of what the scoreline was. The penalty taker, especially if you're a striker, you want to add more goals. Even though if it's 10-0, if it's 7-0, you want to take it. Add to that number. Don't care. And that's the kind of mentality Šeško should have. A striker who wants to lead the line for Manchester United Football Club. It was really, really disappointing to see, to say the least. It was disappointing. And he needs to step up. Whoever is in his camp needs to speak to him and tell him that he needs to proper step up. His mentality in terms of competitiveness needs to change. From that of a cat, I don't want to say the other word, from that of a cat to an absolute lion. Hunt down those goals. Be desperate to take it. If your team's losing 5-0, the opportunity comes. Be ready to smash that in. The penalty comes along. Don't shy away. Put your foot through it and make sure it's on target. 80% chance you're going to score. Anyways, the next question I have is this. The last question is, can United and Amorim come back from this pit they've dug themselves in? It's only left to see. In my opinion, I think it's just a matter of time. Amorim is going to get sacked. I don't see him. I think mentally and emotionally, I think after that interview of last night, I think he's drained. And if he manages to come back from this, it's going to be, I'm going to respect him so well. But like I said, not all good managers have the balls or have the heart to manage a top club. And that's one of the reasons why I have a huge respect for Arteta, even though we are clamoring for a trophy. The respect I have for Arteta in terms of turning the club around. When he took over at Arsenal, Arsenal was a mess. It's almost at par at where United are at the moment. But you could see right from when he joined what he was trying to do. At the moment, we still do not know what United are trying to do. And I don't think playing 5 at the back suits the style of Manchester United Football Club as a whole. They need to try and look for another system. He's stubborn and adamant that what he did at Sporting in Portugal, he's trying to implement it here. But as a manager, that's why you pay the big bucks. You need to be flexible. You need to come up with other solutions. And I don't think he's that flexible enough. He wants to stick with what has worked for him. What has worked for you in Portugal most likely will not work for you in England. And more importantly, might not work for the players that you've got, might not work for the football club that you're at the moment, might not work for the fans, because the fans are already known to watch exciting football, watch a different style of play of football for that football club before you came in. And not everyone's going to be happy with the idea. And most importantly, at the moment, it's not working out. The 5 at the back is not working out. Why not just try something else? Those other his assistant coaches who are with Amorim, I'm sure they should be telling him he should try something else. For example, when you went to Grimsby Town yesterday, it was a perfect time for you to probably try 4 at the back, try a different system. Why are you playing 5 at the back against Grimsby Town? Can United and Amorim, including the players, come back strong from this? In my opinion, I think they're going to struggle to do that. I think after the international break towards December, if nothing changes, Amorim is going to get sacked. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.